On Sunday, Glazer said that the Texans' stance on trading Deshaun Watson has softened, where they weren't even returning calls from teams in training camp. That has changed, according to Glazer. As for teams, to me, Miami makes the most sense and probably has the best chance to pull off, if, in capital letters, a deal gets done. You know, this is the thing about Jay Glazer. Jay Glazer is not Adam Schefter. He doesn't want to tell you that George Kittle was signed a 2-year contract extension. He doesn't deal in that minutia. Jay hits home runs. So when Glazer puts it out there, these might be breadcrumbs, but it still feels like if you start to consume those breadcrumbs, you're going to find the meal. And I don't think it's been a secret that Miami wants Deshaun Watson. And I know the owner wants. I have somebody who is friends with the owner. And he shared with me that, yes, that he thinks that Stephen Ross wants Deshaun Watson. Now, you're not going to say that publicly because, you know, you have a quarterback now in Tua, but in his opinion, he thinks Stephen Ross does want Deshaun Watson. The question is, what do you want to give up? Is he going to be suspended when you get him? We haven't heard anything more about, the trial with all of these cases that are pending against him. When does he sit down? When is he deposed? Maybe February. Charges. We haven't heard anything. There's no smoking gun here. And, the Dolphins are probably just sort of lingering going, hey, call him again each week. Call him again. Hey, call him again. Offer him this. Mike Florio had some thoughts on this on Pro Football Talk. The Dolphins want Watson. More specifically, Dolphins owner Stephen Ross wants Watson. The sticking point has been the compensation demanded by the Texans. If they're softening, a deal could be done. As recently suggested, other teams could get involved, especially if they sense the Texans want less than they've demanded, and the Dolphins may be closing in on getting it done. I still think the Eagles are involved in this. Florio points out the Eagles make sense. Watson has a no-trade clause, and he could be hell-bent on going to Miami. That would make interest elsewhere irrelevant. What's most relevant is the current trade deadline is November 2nd. Any deal for Watson that will happen before March of 2022 needs to happen before November 2nd, 2021. And if Glazer says, keep your eyes on the situation, it makes sense to do so. And I think that's where we are with this situation. It's been quiet. Normally when it's quiet, remember the Texans wouldn't even return your phone calls because you had teams who were leaving messages about, hey, what about this? They were trying to offer up trade proposals because Nick Caserio, their GM, was not returning phone calls. Not even going, if you up the ante a little bit, hey, throw in another first round. Hey, we're interested in that defensive player. Nothing. And I don't know if they thought that this could be done before the season started, but now we're 3 weeks in and going into, 4 weeks. Are you going to be able to trade Deshaun Watson? What do you want in return? And the question is, will this happen in the next month or so? But the Dolphins, I think, have been I don't think the Dolphins are sold on Tua. I think that's obvious. Brian Flores, their head coach, says all the right things, and rightfully so. But I was told that the Texans would not want Tua in return, which surprised me. Like, they want a new quarterback. Get that rookie contract, get a new quarterback. And by the way, Lane Kiffin is going to join us, and he might have the best quarterback in the country, Matt Corral, who is a talented passer and an athletic quarterback. He ran for, I think, 500 yards last year. And Lane will join us, and I want to ask him who he thinks that his quarterback reminds him of who's playing in the NFL. So that'll be coming up a little bit later on. But if Glazer's saying it, then keep an eye on that over the next, 5 weeks. Yes, McLevin.
Do you think the owner will have trouble selling it to the public for trading for Watson? Say it's Miami.
Well, it depends on what happens with these cases. It feels like winning is the great elixir here, and Michael Vick, case in point, with what happened People were outraged, upset. He should never play. We're going to protest. He goes to the Eagles. All right. He had a couple of picket signs out front, and then, he won 8 of his first 11 games, made the Pro Bowl. And all of a sudden, it's like, yeah, all right, he's our guy. Like, okay. Not that I can make the comparison here, and I'm not trying to, of what happened with Michael Vick and what is happening with Deshaun Watson. I'm just talking about baggage for, a quarterback, a star player. The Buccaneers aren't upset with Antonio Brown. Did the Steeler fans say, we can't have Ben Roethlisberger back after what he was charged with? No. Adrian Peterson, we don't want him as our running back. I mean, Ray Rice just wasn't good enough to keep a job after what he went through, and he was older there. Fans want to win. I don't know if, everybody brings their moral compass to the game and it's like, I'm not going to root for him. I'm not cheering for him. If you could have nice guys, good guys, yeah. But, there are a lot of guys who are employed who aren't nice guys. But you still cheer them if they help your team win. Do I think that Miami fans, I don't know. I can't speak for them. Would I have a hard time with it? Yes, I would. But Deshaun Watson's one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. That's what it comes down to. If he was 31, then nobody's going to be calling up the Texans saying, "Hey, are you going to trade him?" He's not even in his prime. What is he, 24 years of age? You get him, he's under contract. And if he wants to go to Miami, but I don't know what's going to happen with these cases. Does he get suspended half the year? The full year? Would you trade for him if you know he's going to sit out for an entire year? Are there going to be charges by the police? Like, I don't know. Can you put him on the commissioner's exempt list? Feels like you would have already done that. Yeah, Paul.
It's the most unique story. Like you said, one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league is a healthy scratch a month into the season. He has not been suspended. He has not announced that he won't play. He's basically leaked it through his people, and the league hasn't suspended him, and nobody's given an update on it.
When's the last update we had on this? Because it feels like it is quiet, really quiet. I know he doesn't want to play. They don't want to play him and have him get injured. They want to make sure that they can trade him whenever that opportunity arises. It's kind of wild.